Hey there, I am Cecily Mariah, and welcome back to this channel where I help women who've outgrown who they've become refine their identity, presence, and direction without burning it all down. Welcome back. In the last video, I talked about why rebranding feels like the answer to everything when things feel uncertain or things feel off, and why it's usually not the right answer. Today, I want to slow this conversation down and name what's actually happening for so many women in this season. This is what I like to call the identity gap. And I talk about this more in my upcoming book, Style Evolves. The identity gap is a phase. It's a space where your beliefs, values, and vision and your capacity has already changed, but your life is still structured around a version of you that no longer exists. So internally, you have begun the season of being refined. However, externally, you're still living your old life. Certain habits that should have elevated or evolved by now haven't. You seem to go in between who you are and who you used to be. This is where that tension and overwhelm and sometimes anxiety and confusion starts to show up. I want to take you through a few points. I want to talk first about the belief. One of the first places this shows up is in your belief. Things that you once believed in wholeheartedly no longer move you. You no longer feel connected to the goals that used to motivate you, the goals that used to bring you joy and motivated to get up in the morning. Those now feel empty. Like you can literally live without it. So your standards that you live by now, not that they feel heavy or overwhelming, it's just you're struggling to make the proper adjustments. So instead of asking the question as to why, many women judge themselves for changing. But the belief shift isn't about you being unstable or it's just information. When we are in this space, we notice that our capacity and our boundaries are changing as well. Another place the identity gap shows up is in the capacity. You don't have the same tolerance that you used to. You don't have the same sense of everything is important. This desire to work well under pressure or over functioning or over performing anymore. And this is not that you don't care. This is not that you're less capable, but it's because you are more aware of yourself and how you want to live. What once felt normal because you've lived this version of yourself for so long now can feel a little too much. And that's when life hasn't adjusted to who you are now. This is where you will start to see delays in your ability to make decisions that serve you in this new direction. This is where you will see your behaviors while modifications are happening. It still feels like something is off. And this is the time where nothing's wrong, but you're still uncertain. You're operating from a level of confusion. Why a lot of women get confused, you're still doing all the right things. Remember, nothing is wrong right now. You're just in a season of transition. You just don't feel right anymore. You're showing up, you're executing, you're responsible, but internally there is a level of resistance that you have yet to live through. And I want to tell you, you are not being lazy because of this change. You will hear a lot of people say, oh, you're just out of alignment. But I don't necessarily think that this is misalignment. This is just getting clear on who you are and how you're now desiring to operate and why this phase of your life in the season that you're in could feel as if it's not as stable. The identity phase, how I like to describe it, is destabilizing because it forces you to no longer live from this space of you're on auto, you're on go all the time. You cannot continue to rely on your old instincts. You cannot continue to rely on your own beliefs. You cannot you c- just default to all the decisions and patterns that got you to where you are now. Everything requires something new, and that can feel overwhelming, especially for high achieving women who are used to a certain level of momentum, who are used to a certain way, like we have to get this done, we have to move forward, we can't linger and stay in this. So, why do women try to escape this phase? Again, I go in a little bit more detail in my book about this, but I want you to know most women, especially those of us who are high achieving, the eldest daughter, but I'm the oldest of four, and it makes a difference. So, most of us were not taught how to sit with this kind of pause, this kind of space to really acknowledge the internal shift that is happening. We're told to go, we're told to move forward, we're told to get things done. And so we try to escape by fixing and doing. We rebrand, we restart, we add something new, we create another service, create a new business, we get another certification, we go get another degree. Again, not that any of this is wrong, but because it is helping us to relieve these feelings and emotions of overwhelm. But the relief is not the same as a resolution or a solution. What is this phase actually asking you to do? This identity gap isn't asking you to fix yourself. Again, nothing is wrong, but we are asking that we make new decisions on how we live and how we are going to adjust our own expectations within ourselves. It's asking you to let your new beliefs shape your new boundaries. It's asking you to let your new values inform you on your priorities, on your dream, on your vision, to let the fact that you have evolved determine how you want to go through life moving forward. So, if you're in this identity gap phase right now, nothing is wrong. You're not behind, you're not broken, you're not falling apart, your life is not in shambles, and you're not failing at something that you once did well. You're just in a phase where refinement needs to happen. So, in the next video, I want to talk about what it takes to actually rebuild the confidence to move forward. Not reinvention, but through being refined. So, this season that you are in deserves patience, it deserves the clarity, and most of all, it deserves the compassion that comes from within so that you can move forward successfully. So, I'll see you in the next video.